Look, I get it. I know there's a constant pressure to keep up with other people who have amazing teams and people that they're outsourcing to, and they're only focused on their desire zone. Well, here's the deal. If you were just getting started in business, or you're just not at a point where you're ready to take on a huge team, work still has to get done, right? We still have to make things happen, and I don't want you to feel defeated in that process. I want you to know that it's possible for you to tackle it, because right now you are in the world of solopreneurship and you love what you do, and you are more than capable of doing what you love. So I want to break down 5 ways for you to get more done in less time and really start time blocking your calendar and batching your work. Well, hello, my friend Jen Johnson here. So thrilled to be hanging out with you here again this week. If this is your first time tuning in on this channel, we focus on how to build your faith and your business by creating purposeful work and more impact on the world. So if you're new, I invite you to subscribe and click the bell so we can hang out on a weekly basis. So here's what I want to help you with. I want to help you eliminate the idea that you don't have enough time, because my friend, we all have time. It's just a matter of how you want to spend it. And if it's really important to you to go out there and make a purposeful impact in the world, and you want to create content and you want to do all the things that it requires of you to be a solopreneur, it's important to you and you value it, so you will put your time towards it. I promise you. Now, there's a difference between not having the time or just not knowing what to do with your time. So I'm going to show you how to break that down. So in order to know how much time you actually have, we need to look at your calendar and figure out how much time you actually have. How many hours a day do you have to commit to the work that you want to be doing? Now, there is a sequential order to this that I encourage you to use. Every single day you want to set aside a quiet time so you can do your Bible study, you can get in touch with God and really keep that relationship in a good communication. The second thing is then putting on your calendar anything that has to do with family. If your kids have activities or school functions or dinners that you need to attend, make sure you're including your family on the calendar is the next thing that you put on there. Now, whatever is left over is white space that you have available to do with whatever you want. So this is the area I want you to focus on. How much time do you have left after your quiet time and tending to your family and putting them on your calendar? What is the remaining hours you have to be able to contribute to your work? Now, once we know what those hours are, we can break those hours down into chunks of time that you can do deliberate work and a lot of one thing. This is called batching. So let's say you have 12 hours a week to commit to doing your work. Maybe 3 of those hours are committed to you actually recording videos. Another 2 hours could be committed to your personal development. Another 3 hours could be spent on actually connecting and communicating with your audience and going out there and being in reactive mode and responding to emails, responding to messages, etc. The idea is to maximize your time and take chunks of time to do one activity and get as much of that activity done as possible in that amount of time. Now, there's going to be some things that you're going to want to do on a daily basis, and you're not going to want to just sit down one time a week and do that one thing, and that's okay. But just know how much time it takes you to spend on that activity each day and chunk it out. Now, once you have filled your white space with different time chunks for different activities, you want to actually set a timer during that time chunk period, because this is going to help you stay laser focused, not be distracted by anything else that is going on in the world, in your email, on social media, inside your household. This is your time to stay laser focused on that activity. So, for example, one thing that I love to batch is coming up with a lot of different posts for Instagram. I find that if I don't sit down and just come up with a bunch of posts, that I will start to slack and not be very consistent in my posting efforts on Instagram. So think about that. Where do you find that you fall short in accountability and consistency in your different efforts when it comes to building your business? Whatever that is, you want to consider batching that activity, setting aside a timer for an hour, for 2 hours, however long it's going to take you to do it, and get it done. So that way you don't have to think about it for the rest of the week or the month or however much material you came up with for an extended period of time. So the fourth thing that will relieve overwhelm and stress and that feeling of always being behind is to make extra batches. Batches that you can just set aside for a rainy day, for a day where maybe you got the flu that week, or maybe there was an emergency at your kid's school, or something went on to where you just weren't gonna be able to come up with a batch day that week. And now you have some stored batches that you can turn to for that extra buffer to not stress you out and make you feel like you're falling off the bandwagon. Maybe you're on vacation and you just know that you want to have some content being scheduled and delivered while you're out, and you don't have to stress about creating it while you're actually on vacation. You can actually be on vacation. Now, lastly, I just want to give you some best practices for batching because there is a little bit of a method to it. You first and foremost want to know, what are you promoting? What's happening in your business? What kind of offers are you going to be making? And you want to create relative content around that you're batching. So know your theme or know your goal for the week or for the month, however long you're creating that content for, and really sit down and think about that so you can start to create relevant content that would lead people to the end result that you're looking to help them with, and also that it's going to help you achieve your goal. You also want to consider your calls to action that you're going to be using within the content so that way those don't get left out, because it's important to create content and free value for your audience. But if you want to work with them on a deeper level, you always want to be creating additional resources or offers for them so that they have a chance to develop a stronger relationship with you and you have the opportunity to gain some new customers or clients. Now, of course, we love our posts and our videos to be pretty and fancy and designed, but you want to make sure that the actual juicy meat of the content is there. You know what you're talking about, you have your headlines, you have your bullets, and you know what you're going to be discussing, so that way you can always worry about the aesthetics of it at the end when it comes time to actually create it live or create it as you're pre-recording it, or make those graphics up as you're ready to sit down and batch all of them out. So just be sure to plan it out before you start getting fancy with it. And once it's done and batched, you can start creating a schedule for when you want that content to go out. Again, there's great schedulers. You can repost, you can repurpose. Now, if you do struggle with posting and you're not sure what to post or how to build up your portfolio of posts so that you always have a running list at your fingertips to be able to deliver value to your audience, definitely check out my video, Social Media Posting Made Easy, because I'm going to break down to you different ways you can start to build up that portfolio, have a theme running through all of your content so that way it stays relevant to your brand and to your purpose for what you're building your business around. And lastly, you might be thinking, Jen, now that I have all this content, what the heck do I do with it? How do I go out there and put it out into the universe? So I want to give you my free download, which is a social media prep and checklist. So whether it's a video or a post, it will give you some ideas on things you can do before you create it, while you're creating it if it's something you're doing live, and what to do with it after. So be sure to download that in the description below or right here in the cards above. There you have it, my friend. Those are my tips for you today. It's really my mission to share with you my belief in you and let you know that, hey, you can do this even if it's just you. I've been a solopreneur for years now, and I'm telling you, it's possible if you just take away all of the thought process and limiting belief that it's hard or that you're not capable of doing it, because you most certainly are capable of doing it. And if you stick around on this channel, I'm going to continue reminding you of that and also giving you simple steps you can take to work your way towards just rocking it out as a solopreneur. So that's all for you today, my friend. God bless, and I will see you on the next video.